Hi, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Breakthrough with me, your host, Tess Timmons. In Breakthrough, one aspect is that I interview people who are living their dreams out loud in order to inspire the audience to do the same. Today, you're going to have a great time meeting Dr. Gamze. She has a plethora of information in her life path, teaching around the world, and I hope that it inspires all of us to travel, dig in deep to what we are interested in. And all right, Gamze, I'm so glad that you're here today. How are you?
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm super excited. Thank you for your invitation. I'm so honored to be here with you today, and I'm so excited to talk about my researching and teaching experiences.
Yes, I am as well. So we met on LinkedIn, and you currently live in Turkey?
Yes, now I'm a professor in Turkey.
Okay, and were you born there as well?
I was born in Ankara, the capital of city of Turkey, and
Okay.
I studied my BA. I will detail, of course, after I share my presentation, you will see it. But after I traveled so much in Turkey too. I lived in many places, and I lived abroad too. And now I'm living in Bartın. Bartın is the Black Sea region of Turkey. Here since 2021, I have been I have taught my courses in the field of Department of Foreign Languages at Barton University. In this January, I graduated from my PhD. I'm so new doctor.
Yeah, congratulations. This is very exciting. So, yes, you're
Thank you.
in Turkey. You've obviously traveled a good portion of the world. We'll get into that as well. Recently, I was in Paris and Italy, in Rome and Venice, and it
Wow.
definitely is making me want to come back and do like a full Mediterranean dive. So, I'll let you know when I'm on your side of the country.
Yeah,
Okay, so let's
perfect.
get started with your presentation. I'm really excited to learn and have the audience learn as well.
Okay. Actually, my teaching and research journey across different cultures and countries today is focusing on my experiences, and I just shared my some of my photos that from my teaching experiences with my students, and this is she's my master's thesis supervisor, and this is the last photo of my PhD dissertation defense. So these are my Erasmus friends in Dortmund, like Germany. So I have many different experiences, and I'm so happy to share it with you today. This is a brief information about my academic map. So, as before stated, I graduated from American Culture and Literature. From bachelor's degree until PhD, I studied American Culture and Literature in Turkey. Why this department? If you ask me this question, actually, when I learned English at the age of 12 in my primary school, I really loved English so much, and I decided to learn English in my life, like the teach English, like as an English teacher in future. And later, after studying English, I'm interested in academic, like the searching, researching fields. That's why I wanted to be academician. And my dream was studying Hacettepe University. Hacettepe is the one of the universities, like the best universities in Turkey, and it is in Ankara. So I didn't move there. Because I'm from Ankara. So I achieved the exam, and I studied American Culture and Literature as a BA in Ankara. And while studying American Culture and Literature, I also had a minor degree in the field of sociology, because I was interested in I'm still, of course, interested in gender studies, like it is really so special area for me. So that's why I decided to study sociology in this field, and I took many different and exciting courses from these fields too. And as a second university, like it is a kind of a process. If you are registered to BA program in Turkey, you are also you can apply to another university as a second university, like BA. So I decided to study international relations at Anadolu University. So because with English, like international relations are so accompanied with the diverse perspectives, so I'm really so ambitious and hardworking person. That's why I studied so much throughout my life. I'm still studying. My father is always telling me that Gamze, you are studying so much. Oh my God, you are at the age of 31 and you are studying. And I'm saying that this is my life actually.
When you were growing up, like, what do your parents do for a living, and where did you get that curiosity? Was that part of your household, or because he seems pretty shocked that you're still studying and what's going on? Yeah, is that where does that come from?
Yeah, actually, the in Turkey and I don't know in America or the Europe, but after university, like after graduation from university, parents are expecting like their children get married. So of course they expect like this to be a successful person in future, but it's a kind of, how can I say, path. So that's why maybe they expect me that to marry after graduation, but I didn't. Continue to study, and I'm so happy with this life actually. And in my family, my father and mother are retired now, and my mother is really so a hardworking person too. Actually, she was born in 1965, and at that age, people are not studying university. But my mother was my mother studied university in the field of international relations actually. So that's why it was so I'm proud of my mother, and she because of her ambitious, maybe I followed these paths, like I embraced all this interdisciplinary area and educational field. Yeah, and my father also is. My father expects me that I can do something else independently. So that's why while studying, while applying for Erasmus programs, my father is always supporting me so much, and he always asks me that I'm supporting you. You can go wherever you want. So these supports are really so important. And why am I studying so much? Because of the supports of my family.
When we're looking at the fact that you are studying English and it's really become a passion for you, there's different places that could have held your attention, like England, Scotland. Why America? And maybe you're going to get into that later in your presentation, but it is fascinating to me that you're in Turkey and that American culture is really calling to you.
Yeah, actually, why American culture and literature? Because I am interested in American literature so much. Like, for example, classical sources, novels like Moby Dick, Scarlet Letter, Edgar Allan Poe, for example, is one of my favorite poets.
Oh yeah.
And because of these literary sources, like the wealthiness of the literary literature, that's why I decided to study American culture and literature. And we have two departments for like about literature in Turkey, like English literature, English language and literature, and American culture and literature. In English language and literature, you are focusing on much more like English history, like the Victorian age and Shakespeare. But I wanted to study like more American oriented sources, the culture and American experiences. That's why actually I studied American culture and literature, and I'm so happy with it. I'm so happy with my department, my choice.
Yeah, when I was in school for my BA, I also studied like English and sociology was my minor as well. Looked at anthropology as well. When I was looking at like the Yeats, Chaucer, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, it was very interesting to me. But I too bent more toward American literature and then also like Latin culture literature. So what about like Edgar Allan Poe? What was it that grabbed you about him?
Actually, I am really interested in Gothic literature. While studying my BA, I was so interested in, and also I attended a conference about Gothic feminism with the field of Lucifer, in the Netflix series, and I analyzed Lucifer's characters, like from the Gothic feminism genre. I don't know. I'm sure like this genre is so mysterious and so dark, and I some part of the studies, the desires of me captures me. So that's why I'm interested in Edgar Allan Poe's poems and the lives, actually experiences.
I too love Edgar Allan Poe. His story is a bit wild.
Yeah, sure. Actually, my teaching research, like it started in Turkey, of course, and I already mentioned all these issues while studying my American culture and literature at Hacettepe University. I took many diverse courses, like about U.S. politics, history, and poetry, culture, and many different ethnicities, like the Mexican American, African American, and the Chinese American. So I really enjoyed my department so much. And after graduating from my BA, I immediately started my master's degree. So after Hacettepe, I moved to Izmir. Izmir is the one of the city of the Aegean. So my dream is to live near seaside city. That's why I moved to Ege University. Ege University's American Culture and Literature department is also so nice in Turkey, and I studied so hard, and I graduated with the full points, like 4.00 GPA. And in this field, like while studying masters, in the courseworks, we took the diverse courses. For example, one of them is the Turkish American politics and the relationships. In this field, I prepared a presentation about the popular culture. For example, comparison and contrast between America and the Turkey. For example, Hollywood. I took some films from Hollywood, like for example, Dracula, and another version is from Yeşilçam. Yeşilçam is the name of the translation of Hollywood, actually, in Turkey. It was so interesting that the compare and contrast between two different cultures. So I learned many different things, many experiences, and my professors at that time, in this year, asked me that to present this issue in the undergraduate students. So he loved so much that he asked me to present it. So I was glad to hear this experience. And this is my after my master's degree, I immediately started my PhD. So there are no gaps between BA and master's and PhD. I feel so lucky about it. So at that moment, actually, while started my PhD, COVID started. So that's why
Oh.
my courses, yeah, I took my courses through online because of all these, how can I say, restrictions. I couldn't move to Izmir. I took these courses from Ankara with online courses. Uh, and after at that time also I applied for some professors propositions in Turkey, and I was accepted from Barton University, and I moved to Barton at that time. That time was so busy, so hectic, because I was accepted from PhD. I was accepted from the instructor position, so it was so interesting moments, interesting experience, because I moved to Barton, like I designed my home with new furnitures, new things. I was so happy to live alone, like choosing my furnitures alone. So it was so interesting memory because it was the first time to live alone in my life, and it was my own home. And later I bought my car. It was so big experiences to me.
Yeah, I
And
think you're also
yeah,
into like a feminist perspective and you study a lot of that. I think that it is really important for women to see that they can live on their own, pay their bills on their own, buy their own car, and decorate their own house. And that kind of like Virginia Woolf, that room of one's own, right? It does empower us.
yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much for your contribution. Yes, you are right. And you know, it is. I really appreciate like the woman's self-independence. Like I really, while driving, like outside, when I see some women's like driving, also I feel so happy. I don't know. It is a kind of like support of womanhood, and from feminist perspective. This is my research area, academic area, and also I since the age of 18, I have taught English. Like as an English teacher, I worked as an English teacher in many places, like the English courses. Also, I have experienced with the kids too, like high school students, kids, elementary groups. I have been many students. So also before university, before academic life, I experienced with the diverse backgrounds of the different stages of children. I
Yeah.
also want to add.
Have you seen any differences like when I talk to people here in America? I've taught seventh grade through 12th grade, which is age like 11 to 18. But before that, when I was younger, starting at age 12, I used to babysit and take care of other children, right? A lot
Yes.
of people were talking about like COVID and the effects of COVID. I've really seen a difference in the effects of social media. COVID was interesting because we have children at home with their own families going through a lot of like strife, which I don't know if that was the same where you are. It was fascinating to me to see families that thrived during COVID and families that really had a hard time being together. But what
Yeah.
have you seen any differences in children in your span? I'd say like in the past 3 to 5 years, I see a difference in like retaining knowledge. Like they're not like, but I also think it's pushed academics that we shouldn't just teach something that can be memorized or Googled, that we want to really like expand our learning into digging deeper at deeper levels of knowledge, having the students really engage in things rather than just a worksheet. They want to be doing and embodying learning.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a great question because every stage is different. Every stage like teaches you like different experiences,
Yeah.
and I'm always, of course, the from kids you are experiencing with sincere and pure energy, but the other high school students is giving different energy. Stage is so different, but I think the most important thing is to give the pleasure of English, like the I. As you said, like the it is not important to give like the just the information and the receiving English. I think we have to push the students into the active learning process. For example, some techniques like the Montessori theory is very important about it. You are pushing the students into the active area, and for example, if the students, if the especially younger learners love English, love to learn English, then their experiences to world, the perspectives into the world also changes. And at that point, the most important step is to love teachers. If you love teacher, then you are, I don't know, you are automatically loving the course too. So my first attempt is to make students love me. So I achieved this issue. Even now, I'm contacted with my students. So, for example, 5 years ago, I I taught English like the first year after kindergarten, first year students, and they don't know how to read or write. So it was really so difficult to teach English to first year,
Wow.
first stage students, and they are 80. So I have four class. Wow, it was so in the beginning of my teaching experience at that time, it was so hard. You know, after the class, I was crying that oh my God, they are not listening to me. I am not teaching English, but one day, one by one, like the day by day, you are experiencing and you are just evolving into this stage, and you are seeing that oh my God, my students know English now, and my parents are coming to thank me, like my students, our students are trying to speak English at home. For example, I am teaching that for going to toilet, they are saying me, they are asking me that may I go to toilet please, or before drinking water, they are asking me, may I drink water please? They are using these phrases at home too to their parents, and their parents feel so happy, and they came to the school to thank me. It was so interesting memory.
That's really beautiful, and that you're able to see that light bulb moment and that growth and process. Were the families
Yes.
also learning a bit of English through their children as well, or did they already know English?
Yeah, most of my parents, of the children's parents actually, already know English, but not professional levels. Yes, they know because most of my parents are doctors or academician or the engineer. They are the well positions of the life at that moment. So that's why they know. But they are always telling me that, hocam, my teacher, did you live in England, or I don't know, your pronunciation is a little bit close to the English. I don't think so, but the professional levels are showing the pronunciation that way. So maybe they are really eager to know these kinds of things
That's
as well.
cool. Yeah. And on average, how many, I know I'm generalizing, but how many different languages do Turkish people know?
Actually, English is the second language here. Now, from first primary school, people are taking English as a second language, and the Turkish is the native language. But sometimes in the high school, they are taking German and the French too. German, French, and English, I think, as a second language. There are no other options.
So are you
And
still interested in teaching youth, or are you more so like, are you enjoying teaching college level?
it was a great question. There are so different
They're so
like
different.
pleasures, but I think now I prefer uh, college degree because I am in the field of, like, I am so interested in researching. I am in the field of academia, so that's why I prefer college students. Paris 8 University, Paris 8 University. Um, it was my first experience because I was so young when I went to Paris, and at the age of 19, I it was the first time to get plane. It was the first time to go abroad. It was the first time to like depart from my family. So it was so interesting, and one of the best memories I have achieved actually, because Paris, I took many diverse courses there. For example, like words and images. This course is so special for me because for my master's degree, my master thesis is about this course. Words and images is about like analyzing pictures and poems together. Do you know the term ekphrasis?
Yes.
I analyze ekphrastic poems of William Carlos Williams. and Peter Bruegel's paintings together. My master thesis is about like the compare and contrast between William Carlos Williams' poems and Peter Bruegel's paintings. So it was this from this course I learned this issue, and I contact. Even now in my university, like at Barton University, I created this a kind of course like that, and I just opened it as a selective course, and it was my another dream, and I achieved it. For example, I took this course from Vincent Brock from Paris 8 University, and after being a professor at Barton University, I contacted with like email through Vincent Brook, and I told that I was your Erasmus student between the 2014 and 2015. Now I'm an academician, and I really inspired your course. And I open it in my university. Now I'm giving this course as an academician, and he congratulated me, and he surprised, and he sent his gratitude to me. And so I this is one of the interesting courses. Another one is Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now is a dystopic course. We analyze like dystopian books. For example, Jack Kerouac, on the road, and it was so interesting memory that I didn't take any kinds of course before, like in Turkey. So another course is the Caribbean literature, and I took this course from Caribbean professor. It was another interesting course that I really amazed. We analyzed like Caribbean literature. And another one is the English history, like the Victorian era. So all of them are so great, and I was so happy with this interdisciplinary field that taking so diverse courses. And also, I celebrated my 20th birthday in Paris with my Erasmus friends. For example, my best friends are Italian. Even now, I'm contacted with them. And it was so interesting memory because when you go to Erasmus, you are taking diverse courses, but also you are meeting diverse cultures. These friendships are lasting so much, and it taught me many different perspectives in my life.
Why is it important for all of us to create global friendships, and why is it important to widen our perspective?
Um, Actually, this is a great question. There are in Turkey we have different agreements like the with Erasmus program, and besides French culture like the Paris 8 University, we have also the Poland and the Belgium, like universities from these countries, and I choose this one like the Paris 8 University because French culture like the is the um, predominantly European history. For example, Paris is so like traditional. The Paris is the primary culture of France, right? That's why I really want to embrace it. In Turkey, no, at that time, even now, Paris is so expensive city. It is not so it is impossible to go there like to stay for 6 months for Turkish people because now like the our economic system is not so good. That's why at that time I prefer to go to Paris State University, like to experience for living like for 6 months at that age. So that's why maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I was there a few weeks ago for 4 days. It was my first time in Paris, and I found it to be really beautiful. Like the amount of nature, the amount of mindfulness as far as um, connecting with people, that all people matter. I talked about in a previous podcast, I was on the Seine River, and there was a sign dedicated to the workers who were refurbishing Notre Dame. And it didn't only have the architect; it also had the electrician. And I just really loved that mindfulness of everyone. Everyone matters. You were talking about Caribbean literature. I always enjoy the magic, how it's normalized, but it's also still magical, that it's allowed, which I've also found with like Isabel de Allende and her work from South America. What did you enjoy about Caribbean literature?
Actually, it was a really so interesting memory to take Caribbean literature because before this course, I didn't know anything else. I didn't because we just studied African American literature in Turkey and some part of it because I am in the first grade. So for Caribbean literature, I really liked like from Caribbean, like there are diverse cultures like from Jamaica, like I think the most interesting part is Jamaica, and Kincaid.
Yeah.
Jamaica Kincaid's. I think I really like these sources that the literary text of this author, and our professor Andre Kiki is from Caribbean, is from Carib. So she also narrates her own experiences, like the ancestral background. It is also so interesting to listen, like the from the first hand, from the first eye. Also, this is another interesting memory.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy too how there's the cross between talking to ancestors and ghosts and spirits that are inhabiting the world, and not to be afraid of that or to think of it as mysticism, that it is part of reality. I love the way that they write that so that everyone can see it and embrace it. When you're looking
Yeah.
at images and words, do you ever take like current artists and have your college students write poetry about it, or what do you are you using anything currently, or is it always looking more at historical images in poetry, which is also cool?
Yeah, it is one of my assignments is to writing creative poetry. Actually, I'm asking to my students in this course, like words and images, listen to the five different songs, like from hip hop or R&B, and please, while listening to this music, these songs, just write what you feel. It can be just one word, it can be anything else, and also draw something else about these feelings. This is one of my assignments, and my students in this year really enjoyed, and I really surprised their masterpieces actually, because some of my students told me that, teacher, my professor, I really discovered my artistic background with your homework, with your assignment, and I was so happy to hear that. So I am also pushing students to the creative process with this course, and I was teaching. I'm teaching with the concrete poetry, calligrams, and the Andy Warhol, Jackson Pollock, like the contemporary issues.
Hmm.
It was, I really enjoyed so much with this course, like the Barbara Krieger's, pastors, and also like the Twombly, Roy Lichtenstein.
I was wondering, with your students and poetry and listening to the music, do you have a song that you always play, or is there an example of a song that a student listened to? And I would love to at some point read some of the poetry that your students made. But is there any particular song that stood out to you that a student chose this year?
Yeah, actually, there are diverse songs that they choose. Most of some of them choose from Eminem or the Katy Perry or Turkish singers. So there are really so diverse, and some of the songs that I don't know, then I am just opening it and I'm listening it while looking at the assignments of the students. So it was a great experience to know even the new songs in my life.
That's awesome.